a game 2 weeks ago when Kenny had 11 targets, 100 yards and everything like that, to last week, I don't know if the receivers combined had 11 targets. Is that just a matter of the offense just taking what the defense is giving, or the impact of having Dez back?
Oh, absolutely. In this offense, we don't determine who gets the ball. The coverage determines who gets the ball. So, we do a great job of all those guys is winning downfield. Even our running backs are winning as well. So, our quarterback Mason, he's doing a great job of just making sure he managed the game well and give the ball to his playmakers and let them go play and make a play.
Past 2 weeks, not a ton of completions far downfield. Most shorter stuff that turns into yards after the catch. How good is kind of the blocking been, and does that say something about what your receivers have done and don't have the ball?
Oh, yeah. I've been harping on them about blocking, being able to, block downfield, help their teammates out, make sure we be around, and stay connected. A lot of times that's what happened when the timing right, getting the ball out real quick, the guys being able to catch, to create explosive plays and create yak and different things like that, that's what you get. So, I harp for those guys all the time, just continue to trust the process, block downfield, catch, get tight turns, and get upfield. So.
Has evolved a little bit maybe from last year, but even earlier in the year. You guys hit on a ton of big plays, that's tied for scoring, but now it seems like you're going more piecemeal, a little bit more methodical going down the field to score touchdowns.
Well, we're always going to get better each and every week. We're always going to evolve and, do different things each and every week, right now Mason's just playing his butt off. Give credit Coach K. Bell. He's doing a great job game planning and calling the right plays and getting in the right formations and different things like that. We just doing our job and just taking it one play at a time and try to execute at a high level. And that's what we're going to continue to do each day.
Go ahead, Evan.
Poppy's been one of the most consistent players from game 1 to game 6 now. How does having such a consistent player in him and the others, but mainly him, allow you guys to just have a stronger offense?
Well, it allows us to do a lot of different things. We trust and we know what Poppy's going to do. We know Poppy's going to get open. We know he's going to make tough catches, and that's what he's been doing. And he know that myself and Coach K. Bell do a great job of holding him to a higher standard and making sure he understands that he got to do everything right, even the little things, even blocking on the perimeter and different things like that. So we just got to keep on chopping at the wood and keep holding them to that high standard so they can keep on producing whenever they get on the field.
Dez Reed had over 150 yards just receiving against Florida State. Just having him back as a wideout, how much does that open up what you guys can do offensively, just having him as a target that defenses have to account for?
Well, he's another playmaker. Now we got another playmaker on the field. He does a great job of being able to understand coverages and be able to read and get open and different things like that. And then, when he catch the ball, he make explosive plays. So not only does that help him out, but it also help the whole offense out because now people are trying to take away him and then now open up some things for some of the other receivers and different things like that. So we do it all together as a collective whole just to work and do each other's job and just do it at our best for our build.
How have you seen Deuce Spann sort of progress as the years gone on? Obviously, he was worked in the Wildcat there on Saturday. Just how does he sort of fit into this offense?
Well, Deuce, he's a little different. He's a bigger target. He can take the top off, different things like that. So we like to use him a lot, in different situations that we can do. But we're going to continue to keep working and keep pushing. He's getting better each and every week. He just come in and do the right things and stuff like that. So I'm just pleased with those guys. And those guys do it as a collective whole, all the receivers. It's not just them, it's just a whole the team. So they do a great job working together, studying, going over the plays, and being able to go out there and produce.
The offensive line has taken some hits with injuries, but it hasn't seemed to really fallen off. What have you noticed about them, and what have your impressions been about Coretta and Stanley coming in?
Well, those guys, they understand the situation, next man up. We don't want to feel sorry for each other. We just going to have to go ahead and next man up and be prepared. And that's what those younger guys and those other guys are doing whenever they're not in. They're taking advantage of, being able to watch and see, do film studies, so whenever their time is called, they'll be ready and prepared. And as you can see, those guys done stepped up and making an impact, a big impact for us.
Blue Hicks has the kind of body type where just look at him, you might think this is a guy you get the ball in his hand, short yardage situation, and let him run with it. But if anything, it seems like he's been more of a downfield target, especially his touchdowns, a lot of deeper explosive plays in the end zone. Just is what he's turned into this year what you envisioned when you guys went out and got him, or has his usage or deployment at all, I guess, come as a surprise in terms of how he's been able to be utilized downfield?
No, we knew Blue since high school. We knew what type of player he is. He's just gamer. He's just a gamer. You know, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, vertical option going deep or, you know, catching a short string. He's a gamer. He can make plays. He's tough. You know, he's just a gamer and go make plays. So, you know, the things that he's doing in the day-to-day base, also in the game, you know, that's what we used to. We used to using him like that.
He was the target downfield on the one interception from Mason, and then another interception on the Kenny sort of slips there. What can the receivers do differently maybe in those scenarios to help Mason a little bit more?
Well, I commend Mason for giving us a shot. You know, that one to Blue. You know, he just threw it up there to give us a chance. And it's our job as playmakers to go out there and make a play. I told my guys all the time, you know, we got a freshman quarterback, so it's never his wrong. It's always our fault. It's never his fault. It's always our fault. So as a veteran unit, receiver corps, anytime something wrong, we taking the blame. It doesn't matter whether he throw the pick or not. So just something where, you know, he got to go up and make a play. You know, that's nothing to do with coaching or anything like that. It just got to be a playmaker, got to make a play. He tried a high point, he didn't get a high point. He had it in his hand. They just pulled it out of his hands. You know, they got D1 players just as well. So it's just a situation you got to make a play. And on the other one, you know, Kenny slipped and fell. You know, things happen. But the good thing about Mason, man, he came on that sideline. He kept telling everybody, it's all right, it's my fault. We're going to move on. And that's what I love about Mason. You know, his leadership skills, just poise, understand that throwing those picks didn't rattle him, and it didn't rattle the whole team. Everybody else was still right there with him and just understand the mission at hand.
Kenny keeps his feet there. Is that probably a touchdown, you think?
I believe so. Because, you know, Mason threw a good ball trying to stick it on him, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's part of football. Things happen. So with that there, we just moved on to the next play and moved on, and we'll talk about it on Sunday, which we did. But
What stands out about Syracuse defensively? How they challenge you guys?
well, obviously we know, you know, they got some DBs, you know, they got some DBs that's pretty good. The linebacker's pretty good as well. But our thing is we're just trying to focus on us, and we try to make sure we execute at a high level. And if we execute at a high level and we're making sure that we empty the tank and play hard for 60 minutes, that, you know, we should be able to take care and do our job. But they are pretty good, you know, for the back end, also with some of their linebackers as well.
Do you find that at this point in the season you're starting to thin your rotations a little bit? Like guys are starting to separate themselves from backups, and you're finding fewer guys, but then you find them more reliable?
Well, it all goes down to trust. You know, I'm gonna go with the guys I trust. You know, this is not Pop Warner where everybody get a participation to play and get on the field. I'm gonna go with the guys I trust. I'm gonna go with the guys who's gonna help us win, because it's all about the team. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure it's all about the team, put the team in position to be able to win and go ahead and make plays. So moving forward, though, some of those guys will, you know, get into the rotation. You know, it all depends on what you do on Tuesday all the way till Friday. You know, that determines whether you play. I don't determine playing time. My guys know they determine playing time, and whatever they do and how they prepare themselves from Tuesday to Friday determine how we will rotate.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you, guys.